to tell the story as authentically as we could, and you need to have certain plot points because he did do these things.
Over the weekend, I watched Monster: The Jeffrey Dahmer Story on Netflix. First of all, absolutely terrifying and extremely disturbing. The very first episode had me clutching a pillow for life support. But secondly, Evan Peters, the lead actor playing the titular serial killer, was completely unrecognizable. Many may already know how talented this actor is, but if you don't, well, I'm Adam Andrews with Where Are They Now, and today we're going to talk about Evan Peters and everything he has done up until now, and then just a dash of some controversy. Let's just jump in. Evan Thomas Peters, if you haven't already gathered, is an actor and is well known for playing non-typical characters. His roles historically have been outcasts, goofballs, and those living outside whatever societal norms are present at the time. It just fits with his whole non-typical look thing. Born in St. Louis, Missouri on January 20th, 1987, Peters grew up in the suburb of Baldwin, moving to Grand Blanc, Michigan in 2001 with his family, and this is where he began to work pursuing modeling and taking acting classes. But it wasn't until he was 15 that Evan moved to Los Angeles with his mom to pursue acting specifically. In LA, he attended Burbank High School as a sophomore, but a little later was homeschooled instead. Evan's early career was pretty successful in my humble opinion. In 2004, he starred in the film Clipping Adam, for which he won an award for Best Breakthrough Performance at the Phoenix Film Festival. And in that same year, he also had a role in the MGM movie Sleepover, as well as the ABC drama series The Days. Starting in 2004 and going till 2005, he had a recurring role in the first season of Disney's Phil of the Future series as the title character's best friend. And the following 2 years, 2005 and 2006, he played Jesse Varon in the ABC sci-fi thriller series called Invasion. Like most actors early on in their careers, Peters had a bunch of roles in different commercials for Sony PlayStation, Sour Patch Kids, Papa John's, and more. He also had some theater roles as well in productions like Oliver Twist. He had various supporting roles in a few different films like An American Crime in 2007 and Gardens of the Night and Never Back Down, both in 2008. Also in 2008, he had a recurring role on One Tree Hill as Jack Daniels. Other than all of that, he also had one-episode guest roles in a bunch of different shows, including Monk, House, The Mentalist, In Plain Sight, Parenthood, and The Office, which was a hilarious episode. Just saying. In 2010, he played a supporting role to Aaron Taylor Johnson in Kick-Ass, but was unable to return for the sequel in 2013 because of a little show called American Horror Story. Despite all that he had already done before, American Horror Story, created by Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk, gave Peters his breakthrough role in the form of Tate Langdon in the very first season in 2011. If you have never seen American Horror Story, no worries. The show is, surprisingly, a horror TV series for the cable network FX. It follows a sort of anthology style, with each season being its own self-contained miniseries in a way, following different sets of characters in the fictional world of the series. Sometimes the show has moments inspired by true events, and the story of each season plays out in full with a start, a middle, and an end. The cool thing about this show is that a lot of the actors come back for different seasons in different roles, and usually those roles are much different from their previous season's role. It's both a really cool concept for a show, but also an incredibly well done and well performed series as well. But this is about Evan Peters, and like I said, his role as Tate Langdon in the first season was a huge deal for him and made Peters a much bigger name. When he came back for the second season in 2012/2013 as Kit Walker, his role earned him a nomination for the Satellite Award for Best Supporting Actor in a Series, Miniseries, or Television Film. He continued on for Season 3, Coven, in 2013-2014, Season 4, Freak Show in 2014-2015, Season 5, Hotel in 2015-2016, Season 6, Roanoke in 2016, Season 7, Cult in 2017, for which he earned a Critics' Choice nomination, the 8th crossover season called Apocalypse in 2018, and skipping Season 9, he returned for the first part of the 10th season titled Red Tide. During all of that time, Peters also worked on many other projects like the comedy film Adult World alongside John Cusack and Emma Emma Roberts. He also became a superhero when he joined 2014's X-Men Days of Future Past as the mutant Quicksilver, a role which was first really good, but also he reprised it first in 2016's X-Men Apocalypse and again in 2019's Dark Phoenix. In 2015, he also starred in a horror film called The Lazarus Effect and a drama called Safe Light. In 2016, he was also in a comedy drama called Elvis and Nixon, and in 2017 he played the lead in The Pirates of Somalia, and the next year was lead again for the film American Animals. He also acted in the first season of Ryan Murphy's Pose drama series. Now, thanks to Disney purchasing Fox, Evan's Quicksilver character was transferred over into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he picked up that role in the 2021 Disney Plus series WandaVision, but as an imposter, since Aaron Taylor Johnson had already played the character previously. Also, in 2021, he won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a limited or anthology series for his role in Mayor of Easttown, an HBO miniseries starring Kate Winslet. And that brings us all the way to the present, with the Netflix miniseries about Jeffrey Dahmer, which was also created by Ryan Murphy, who co-created American Horror Story. Working as an actor, specifically a popular and successful actor, means that your personal life will always be watched and talked about by the press, gossipy teenagers, and shameless YouTube channels like this one. And Peters does have a little bit of drama under his belt. I mean, other than all the awards he has won for acting in dramas. But who cares about talent and award-winning performances? Honestly, he's got like 2 celebrity gossip stories of note, none of which really paint him in a negative light, and both have to do with relationships. Back in 2012, Evan began dating fellow actress Emma Roberts, who is the niece of Julia Roberts, who he met on the set of Adult World, and who would work with him on the set of American Horror Story. The two had a pretty long relationship, but it wasn't entirely smooth. I mean, most relationships aren't, but this was like a dirt road with potholes, the kind of road you're just kind of glad to be off in the end, you know what I mean? In the beginning, they would hit red carpets together and they were spotted strolling around cities like New York and Paris. But in July 2013, someone overheard an argument coming from the room that the couple were staying in Montreal. The argument was loud and aggressive enough that it led to the police being called. When the police did arrive, Roberts was arrested on suspicion of committing a domestic, as Peters allegedly had suffered both a bloody nose as well as a frickin' bite mark. Emma had no injuries at all, so Evan was not charged with anything, but he also chose not to press charges after Emma was released not too much later. They were then photographed afterwards with Emma crying into Evan's arms, and they released a statement together that said, quote, "It was an unfortunate incident and misunderstanding. Miss Roberts was released after questioning, and the couple are working together to move past it." In a, not gonna lie, pretty unexpected move, Evan actually proposed to Emma with a pink and gold diamond ring over the 2013 holidays, which was just about 5 months after the arrest. She wore the ring to both the Golden Globes and an American Horror Story party, but the engagement wasn't the lasting kind, and the two actually broke up in June 2015. At least, they broke up for the first time. At the time, a source said, quote, "The breakup was amicable, there was no drama whatsoever. Emma and Evan are even still friends," which must have been at least somewhat true, because 3 months later they were apparently seeing each other again after being seen holding hands and walking around LA. But what ho, another split you say? Yes, 9 months after being apparently back together, they seemed to split again in May 2016, with Evan even deleting all of their photos together from his Instagram. And in June, she had started dating Christopher Hines, but not for long, because Evan and Emma were back at it again in September of 2016, giving me whiplash from just trying to follow this damn relationship that finally came to an end in March 2019, calling off an engagement again and Evan moving out. The other relationship that we are going to talk about is the one between Evan and singer-songwriter Halsey. This relationship began publicly after the two were spotted on a trip to Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California back in September 2019. The following month, the pair made their first public appearance at American Horror Story's 100th episode party dressed as Sunny and Cher. Apparently, Halsey had a massive crush on the actor. Back in 2012, she even jokingly tweeted about her crush on him and his American Horror Story character, which hopefully she was joking, because his character, it ain't the kind to really admire. If you know, then you know what I mean. The pair seemed to have been going strong for a while, with the only real controversy coming from this really weird and random baby rumor because Evan touched her belly in a picture. A source even told OK Magazine, quote, "Their relationship may be new, but she's the girl he intends to marry." And then on his birthday, she even even tweeted she couldn't imagine a world without him, which I suppose neither of those statements were really true, since in March 2020 the couple called it quits. The cause of the breakup is not really known, but Halsey did delete all pictures of her and Evan together on her Instagram account, like most people do when they break up with someone. Evan Peters is just 35 now, and with this Jeffrey Dahmer series, plus his other recent work further showing how amazing of an actor he is, I think he has got a pretty bright future ahead of him. It's just nice to see another male actor with an unconventional look who plays the outsider, keeps things private, and isn't a horrible person, getting recognition and praise and doing well in an industry that is so often labeled as shallow.
This film has meant so much to me in my heart since I was a little girl. I really felt like the little girl inside of me was like, okay, Halle, you can't mess this up, you gotta do your best.
Halle just became the most recent addition to Disney's elite live-action franchise through her role as Ariel in The Little Mermaid. But it turns out not all Disney fans are happy with this. I'm your host, Michaela. Let's jump right in. Halle Bailey is most popularly known for her singing career as an R&B artist. She also belongs to one half of the famous Chloe and Halle YouTube pop channel. Following Halle and Chloe signing with Beyonce's company Parkwood Entertainment, the duo dropped their debut EP, Sugar Symphony, in 2016. What are your thoughts on Halle becoming the newest Disney princess? Let me know in the comments below. Halle was born in Atlanta, Georgia on March 27, 2000. Her parents are Doug and Courtney Bailey, and they share one other daughter named Chloe, who is also a singer and actress, and have a son. The sisters acted in 3 of the same films and 2 TV series together. Halle's father let go of his job to manage her and Chloe. For Halle's schooling, she remained homeschooled. The tight-knit family relocated from Atlanta to Los Angeles, and Halle later graduated from a high school there on June 8, 2018. As a young girl, Halle adopted her cello and violin skills. She drew inspiration from her older sister Chloe, who had a deep passion for music. Following in Chloe's footsteps, Halle developed her self-taught guitar skills through YouTube tutorials. Doug took notice of their musical progression as they grew older, and later decided to quit his 9-to-5 to manage his daughters full-time so that they can host performances across Atlanta. The siblings very quickly began posting their talents on YouTube. Their Chloe x Halle channel saw its first video called Love Is You, posted on March 20th, 2008. In its prime time, the channel belonging to the young sisters captured the attentions of millions of viewers through their soulful performances. The positive responses had the girls creating incredibly moving renditions of popular artists' songs like Beyonce's Best Thing I Never Had and Countdown, Alicia Keys' Girls on Fire, and Lil Wayne's How to Love. Following these covers, Halle and Chloe grew a steadily popular fanbase, hitting millions of views at a time per video and joining the sought-after list of YouTube celebrities. From here, the duo's wave never really faded, rather the girls' potential blended with their determination drove them to make their dreams as musicians come true. On September 23, 2013, Halle and Chloe released their digital, critically acclaimed EP titled Uncover. In December of that same year, the siblings uploaded a cover of Beyonce's Pretty Hurts on the 22nd, marking the biggest change of their lives. From the moment that the cover went up, the duo went viral and later caught Queen Bee's attention, which resulted in the senior star posting it on her Facebook page. Incredibly enough, after all this, Halle and Chloe signed a $1 million contract with Beyonce's label in 2015. Beyonce also became their mentor while giving them complete free creative control over their music. She understood their expertise in music and informed them to trust their gifts and let the world catch up to them. The sisters later dropped their Sugar Symphony EP with Parkwood Entertainment on April 29, 2016. They held performances for their album's leading single Fall during the White House East Egg Roll event that then First Lady Michelle Obama had invited them to. June 2016 saw 2 praiseworthy performances from the duos at the BET Awards and the YouTube Music Foundry. This was also notably their most successful year together because they opened up their mentors the Formation World Tour as Chloe and Halle, as well as Andra Day's Cheers to the Fall Tour. Around this time, Halle and Chloe were also making waves in the fashion industry for their bohemian looks. Outside of music though, Halle is a remarkable actress with a 2006 debut in the romantic comedy film Last Holiday. She also has appearances in the movies Let It Shine and Joyful Noise in 2012. Between 2007 and presently, Halle has TV credits which include House of Pain, Austin and Ally, and her recurring role as Skylar in Grownish. Halle alongside Chloe composed and sung the Grownish theme song Grown in December 2017, a year prior to Halle's role. From here, Halle's journey only went up. She released her musical mixtape with Chloe titled The Two of Us on March 16, 2016. A year after, the duo saw their debut studio album The Kids Are Alright released and earned 2 Grammy nominations for the Best Urban Contemporary Album and Best New Artist in 2019 categories. The album also contained a song called Warrior, which was used as a part of the A Wrinkle in Time soundtrack in 2018. When the sisters performed America the Beautiful on February 3, 2019 at the 53rd Super Bowl, they enraptured the audience. The release of their song Be Yourself in April 2019 was used for the movie Little. Halle also has a skill of modeling under her belt for walking the Dolce & Gabbana and Rodarte runways with Chloe. Now let's discuss Halle's Little Mermaid role and how it relates to what we currently know. Disney watchers around the world are highly anticipating its live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid, set to premiere early next year. Disney revealed its first teaser trailer for the upcoming film at Disney's D23 Expo, which showcased Halle as main character Ariel, singing a snippet of the iconic musical number Part of Your World. During an Entertainment Weekly interview, Halle broke down the process of how she incorporated bits of herself into Ariel, which includes her iconic locks. Quote, "With Rob, he's so amazing in saying, 'I see you and I want to bring you into the character.' It was a beautiful thing. For example, incorporating my locks into the red hair was something that was really special to me. The outfit, the fins, everything, it's just amazing. I'm grateful that I've been able to take the essence of me and mix the two." Outside of her Little Mermaid role, Halle has another film coming up around Christmas called The Color Purple, and teased some solo music projects on her social media. However, Halle revealed that playing her Disney role has helped her adapt into her own actress, musician, and young woman overall. Quote, "I really felt like I got strong mentally and physically, and I think it was a really good thing for me to do, just in terms of developing into a woman and knowing myself more. I'm more sure of myself after the filming experience for sure." The Little Mermaid live action reboot currently has a set release date of May 26, 2023. In other news, Halle's experiences with the film hasn't always been positive. From being recently mixed up with Halle Berry for her role to the overall outrageous backlash she's faced, the occurrences have been plenty. In 2019, following Disney dropping their announcement that Halle was portraying Ariel, she was instantly met with racial comments, and it wasn't long before the hashtag #NotMyAriel trended. This is similar to the #NotMyMJ hashtag that got trended when fellow actress Zendaya received the iconic role of MJ from the MCU live-action Spider-Man franchise. The negativity from the Halle news brewed toxicity from a bunch of fans who felt that Disney should have given the part to an actress who physically resembled the animated character, as the original mermaid was white with red hair and blue eyes. Individuals who had very strong opinions on Halle playing the titular character have brought about racist response as a result of her casting. One instance in particular comes from an Indonesian college student who posted a now deleted TikTok video dressed up in a racially derogatory manner, further referenced as blackface, while wearing a red wig and attempting to impersonate black women. Captioned at the top of the video was the mocking phrase, "My daughter's reaction to the Little Mermaid trailer," which was referencing the trend that black parents started with their daughters in light of the Little Mermaid trailer revealing Halle as the fairy tale character. The video further belittled Halle and people of color when the student turns to the camera and imitated the trending kids with the words, "Mommy, she looks like me, she's so pretty." Amid the backlash, the student had let it be known that he wasn't going to take down the video, but since the full force attention on it, the video has disappeared from the app along with the student's account. The response to the demeaning video has been hefty, with many TikTok users rushing to post their own reactions to the student's video. One person even noted, quote, "Y'all anti-blackness has been showing ever since this was announced, but people claim they're not racist. The way y'all have treated Halle, an innocent girl, for doing a role is disgusting. There's no explaining this behavior, it's racism and nothing else, it's so tiring." For those of you who don't already know, Halle is continuing the long lineage of mermaids who come from different cultures with centuries-old histories. Katie Brown, a University of Texas African Diaspora Religions assistant professor, once lectured, quote, "The idea of aquatic spirits and mermaids is not one that Hans Christian Andersen came up with. He popularized this particular story, but the concept predates his story. It's just one iteration of the story, which points to the overall historical problem of European representations becoming the dominant representation. With Halle being our present mermaid of color and culture, but not our only of course, the ones whose historic paths she follows are Mami Wata of West Africa, La Siren of Haiti, the Mermaid of Karoo of South Africa, the Ningyo of Japan, the Aira of Brazil, and the Sedna of North America. Again, since the release, Halle has faced severe backlash and a whirlwind of controversy behind her portraying the character who was originally written as Caucasian. In the midst of the persistent racist trolling, Halle admitted the pressure she felt she was under to do her greatest as Ariel. She spilled to E! News that, "I definitely think because I love this movie so much and I've treasured it since I was a little girl, I did put a bit of pressure on myself, just because I want to deliver all the feels that I saw when I was a little girl." The star has made it known that she has been a for-lifer with the 1989 Disney original that is based off the Danish fairy tale from Hans Christian Andersen. She also detailed how proud she is of her performance and how she gave 110% to the film. This came shortly after the first trailer was met with a ton of racially motivated hate from online trolls. The first time Halle received similar prejudice was when her announcement as Ariel was released in July 2019, where the movie's earliest trailer triggered the mindlessly hateful comments exponentially. Since then, it's picked up millions of global views. However, there is a light at the end of the tunnel here because Halle has the support of Daryl Hannah behind her. If her name is distantly familiar to you, it's because she's the actress who famously starred opposite Tom Hanks as a mermaid named Madison in the smash hit movie Splash in 1983. The now 61-year-old star tweeted, "The Little Mermaid is black. I met her. There." Alongside this was the hashtag "Don't be a racist dork." The Ariel actress also received additional love from Jodie Benson, who wonderfully voice acted casted for the original portrayal of Ariel in the animated classic. On Instagram, Jodie posted to her story, "Halle, you were absolutely amazing. I'm so proud of you and your beautiful performance as Ariel." In light of the live action's dazzling trailer, many fans of color, including adults, shared their daughter's sweet reactions to watching Halle singing Part of Your World. The positive reaction of black children celebrating Halle quickly went viral, as aforementioned, and led Halle to post a message in response which says, "People have been sending these reactions to me all weekend and I'm truly in awe. This means the world to me."
My favourite emoji has always been the turd. The poo that smiles.
Florence Pugh is best known for her 2014 role as Abby Mortimer in The Falling, which marked her film debut in Hollywood. After this, Florence was given other notable roles like Catherine from the 2016 drama Lady Macbeth, Fighting with My Family, and Midsommar. Florence made additional appearances in the ITV detective series called Marcelum, alongside her starring part in AMC's miniseries The Little Drummer Girl. Most recently, she's acted in her latest upcoming film, Don't Worry Darling, alongside an all-star cast, which features musician Harry Styles and director Olivia Wilde. Do you have a favorite Florence Pugh role as of today? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's rewind a bit. Florence, whose full name is Florence Rose Pugh, was born in Oxford, England on January 3rd, 1996. She was raised in the United Kingdom for the majority of her childhood, where her father served as a restaurateur and her mother was a dance teacher. However, Florence left Oxford with her family to relocate to Spain for 3 consecutive years. The move was a hopeful attempt to treat an ongoing health issue Florence was struggling with, known as tracheomalacia, which is a condition that causes a collapsed trachea, ensuing difficulty breathing. Florence was often hospitalized as a young girl because of it, and has described it as the cause of her deep voice and goose-like laugh. However, this didn't stop Florence from captivating any audience she stood in front of, even as a child. When Florence was 6, she described the feeling of control and power she had on stage for the first time through her entertaining spectators with a northern adopted accent as she complained about varicose veins. When Florence began transitioning into her teenage years, she ran a YouTube channel named Flossie Rose, where she sang covers with an accompanied guitar she self-played. Alongside her talents, Florence attended private schools in Oxford, including St. Edward's and Wychwood, but struggled to excel academically. Florence told the New York Times in 2020, "I don't think I was built for school. I just wanted to perform and make music and make pots." Florence's family was described as very loud and dramatic people who loved being in the spotlight. Florence's 2 older siblings were also actors, and she had 1 additional sibling 7 years younger than her. Florence also had a boyfriend, Zach Braff, who starred in Scrubs. They were fast friends ever since 2018 and were together until August of this year. Florence even made an appearance in Zach's 2019 short film, In the Time It Takes to Get There. Additionally, the two were quarantined together throughout the pandemic and adopted a dog. However, their double-decade age difference brought about much criticism, including Florence's birthday post for Zach, where she had to shut down the negativity. At the time, the actress defended their relationship on her Instagram page when she stated, "I am 24 years old. I do not need you to tell me who I should and should not love. I would never in my life tell anyone who they can and cannot love." The now 26-year-old English actress has again starred in the horror-based film Midsommar and Marvel's Black Widow movie, the mini-TV series The Little Drummer Girl, and even earned herself the title of an Academy Award nominee for her Amy March role in the 2019 adaptation of Little Women. Florence's first movie happened at 17 years old, where she also received a nomination for British Academy's Film and Television Arts Rising Award. Her range in acting has earned her loads of praise in her successful career thus far. While she was still in school during her 17th year of life, Florence participated in an open audition and scored the part of The Falling in 2014. The next year, Florence saw a role in a pilot for an unnamed American TV show, but her negative experiences with production, including one pushing her to lose weight, forced Florence to reconsider her relocation to LA. The show eventually never left the ground though, but the British star's career continued to look up. In 2016, Florence received her Lady Macbeth role and landed a British Independent Film Award for her work. In 2018, we saw Florence appear alongside her future Don't Worry Darling co-star Chris Pine for The Outlaw King, and then again opposite Liam Neeson for the thriller The Commuter. It was in this same year that Florence accumulated more success in the BBC miniseries, paired up with her appearance in the King Lear production. In 2019, we got some of Florence's most notable roles to date, with Midsommar, Fighting with My Family, and Little Women. In 2020, Florence starred next to Scarlett Johansson for the MCU Black Widow film, which originally was supposed to release in 2020, but was delayed until 2021 because of the pandemic. In In this, Florence portrayed Scarlett's title character's surrogate sister named Yelena. As of 2022, Florence co-stars with UK-originated musician Harry Styles for Olivia Wilde's upcoming film in Don't Worry Darling. Now, let's discuss all the drama surrounding Florence in Don't Worry Darling and how it pertains to what we've learned so far. The beef stemming from this movie has been constant and the pot has stayed hot. It seems leading star Florence and her former leading opposite Shia LaBeouf just can't stop spilling the tea about their supposedly shady director Olivia Wilde. And while one acting member has been a lot more subtle than the other with their own shade, surely it's all been equally as messy. Even the movie stylists are subtly hopping on the drama train nowadays. Still, this hasn't stopped Olivia from attempting to take the heat off the behind-the-scene riffs to focus conversations around her actual new movie instead. Olivia seemed to hold down the crew for the unveiling of her psychological thriller at Monday's Venice Film Festival, where she was accompanied by her boyfriend and new leading male star Harry Styles, along with other castmates Chris Pine and Gemma Chan. But naturally, people were far more interested in the scandals taking reign over her film. However, Olivia is unimpressed by the rampant speculation and discussed the following during a press conference. For all the endless tabloid gossip and all the noise out there, I mean, the internet feeds itself. I don't feel the need to contribute. I think it's sufficiently well nourished. The feuds in question began with rumors of Florence and Olivia fighting when it was alleged that Olivia was hooking up with Harry while she was still married to her former partner prior to their November split. And then again when it was suggested that the UK actress was making less money for her work than her co-star. Olivia has denied all claims and took to defending herself by alleging that she fired Shia and replaced him with Harry to, quote, keep Florence safe from his competitive behavior. Yet on the opposite end of this, Shia stated that he was the one who quit due to a lack of rehearsal time. He also leaked a video of her to a magazine in August 2020 where Olivia seemed to place the blame on Florence for all their onset issues. Quote, I feel like I'm not ready to give up on this yet, and I too am heartbroken and want to figure this out. I think this might be a bit of a wake-up call for Miss Flo, and I want to know if you're open to giving this a shot with me. If she really commits and if you guys can make peace, and I respect your point of view, I respect hers, what do you think? Is there hope? Fans of Florence were of course unimpressed by what they considered to be a rudely condescending tone that Olivia used to describe the Brit. However, after only a few months of Shia exposing this alleged video of Olivia about him and Florence, the actor saw a lawsuit against him from his ex-girlfriend FKA Twigs for battery, assault, and emotional distress charges. In light of this, the 79th Venice Film Festival staff shut down any questions regarding Shia at the event, but managed to get Olivia to open up with a flowing speech regarding her leading Brit, who was absent at the time of the press conference but was in place for the movie's premiere. I'm so grateful that she's able to make it tonight despite being in production on Dune. I know as a director how disruptive it is to lose an actor even for a day, so I'm very grateful to her and Dennis for helping us. We're really thrilled we'll get to celebrate her work tonight. I can't say enough how honored I am to have her as our lead. She's amazing in the film. Now, this is where things get a little comical. Fans have since gone wild regarding a clip of Florence enjoying a cocktail, while Olivia insisted the actress had to skip the press conference due to schedule conflicts. Fans have deemed Florence's behavior iconic, and it seems her reportedly mandatory absence gained her some public brownie points. Amid the rumors of their bitter feuding, Florence skipping out on the PC on Monday didn't seem that far-fetched. However, when Olivia was officiating that the British actress was tied up with former filming commitments, Florence was being filmed avoiding the drama to enjoy an alcoholic beverage in a since viral video. As the PC was underway, Florence's stylist Rebecca Corbin-Murray shared footage of the actress strutting around Venice, Italy, donning a stunning purple Valentino set as she made a cheering gesture to the camera with her drink in hand. Meanwhile, Olivia was gushing endless praises for Florence during their public press event. Florence did eventually make her appearance with the cast and Olivia at the Venice premiere as mentioned earlier, but she kept her distance from the director the entire event. So, to bring today's rundown to a close, let's dive a bit further into the stylist getting involved in the mess, and how Florence has seemingly done her best to dodge a public falling out with her director at their latest appearance together. While Olivia has ensured that the tension surrounding the film is nothing but invented clickbait, Florence has chosen not to comment on or refute any of the rumors at all. We saw Olivia land loads of compliments about Florence on Monday when she was asked about the speculation of a falling out. However, this could have merely served served as a front for the public, especially because Florence seemed to avoid Olivia like the plague during the premiere. Both the cast and the director were in attendance for the world premiere of Don't Worry Darling, but both Florence and Olivia remained separate, almost seeming as if they never even worked on the same film together. And while the Venice audience erupted into a 4-minute long standing ovation for the film, Florence was seated several spots away from Olivia with teary eyes as she turned away completely from her director. Rather, the Brit faced and later danced with her co-star Nick Kroll. As for the stylists getting involved, both Olivia and Florence's seem to have waded into the drama surrounding the director-actress duo for the film, which has recently received mixed reviews from critics. LA-based stylist Carla Welch, who frequently works with Olivia, appeared to add to the following out speculations when she shared an Instagram story that seemed to directly reference the rumors. Carla wrote, "There's always more to the story." In the same period that the rumored beef was escalating after Olivia addressed the gossip for the press conference. In the same period that the rumored beef was escalating after Olivia addressed the gossip for the press conference Florence was absent for. Her cryptic message was followed up by additional Olivia images of her at the festival, including one where Carla helped Olivia style her yellow gown on the red carpet. And if this wasn't wild enough, we also have Florence's stylist Rebecca Corbin-Murray, who appeared to take her own shots at Olivia when she referred to her client as Miss Flo in an IG post. The apparent swipe at Olivia seemed to be a direct jab at the director, calling Florence that exact name from Olivia's alleged past conversation with Shia, where Olivia made previous claims that she fired the American actor and Shia insisted that he quit. Conclusively, in light of all the messy drama so far, Florence cited a late plane arrival as the reason she was not present at the press conference on September 5th.
We're in love. Oh, sorry, you don't like it.
Oh my god, my depression is gone.
It's a very good gift.
This look right here.
The actress Lili Reinhart recently revealed she has numerous roles and projects in the works, including an LGBTQ+ period piece with her production company, Small Victory Productions. I'm Adam Andrews with Where Are They Now? Let's talk about Lili Reinhart, her recent moves, and what she has planned for the future. Now, I've never watched Riverdale, honestly, but I know it's just gotten wilder and wackier over time. Tracking down serial killers, dying and coming back to life, performing musical numbers, gaining superpowers, and even surviving a cataclysmic meteor strike, with Cheryl Blossom managing to stop it, are some of the things I know have happened. So, in the 6th season, reality gets twisted with the final episode ending to see all the characters being teenagers again, now living in the 1950s with no memories of anything that happened in Riverdale Season 6 except for Jughead. So it will be interesting to hear how it all comes to an end in 2023's Season 7. But speaking of the end, in an interview with Variety, Lili Reinhart chatted about seeing Riverdale Season 7 officially head into its end. Reinhart spoke heavily about it being a bittersweet feeling to say goodbye to Riverdale after having worked on the show since she was 18 years old. She said, quote, "There are a lot of feelings. Bittersweet is the word, because I obviously will miss this group of people that I've been through half of my 20s with." She continued, "But I do think the show has done so much for all of us, and we're all so ready to show the world what else we've got." And bouncing right off those words, Reinhart recently did an interview with BuzzFeed where she spoke about exactly what else she does got. In the interview, she said, quote, "In the last year and a half, I've been hard at work developing the projects that I'm going to do after Riverdale. I'm really trying to set up a slate of things for when the show ends, to jump right into, because I know I'll be ready to dip my feet into all these different projects. I have so many exciting things on the horizon, I just get so excited to think about them." One of these projects she went on to talk about was a, quote, "very exciting LGBTQ+ period piece that is in the works." She went on to add that it is, quote, "so exciting for me because I've always been in love with period pieces. I grew up being so drawn to them, like Marie Antoinette, Memories of a Geisha, and Dangerous Liaisons," she said. "I've always just loved the drama of period pieces, and adding that queer element is very exciting for me, so that's something that's on the horizon." If you didn't know, Lili Reinhart came out as bisexual in June of 2020 by sharing a poster for an LGBTQ+ for hashtag Black Lives Matter protest on her Instagram story, which she said she would be attending with a caption reading, "Although I've never announced it publicly before, I am a proud bisexual woman." When she was 23, Lili opened up about her decision to publicly reveal that she's bisexual and why she was hesitant to do so in an interview with Nylon. She said, quote, "I didn't want to come out and talk about it because I felt that bisexuality was becoming a trend. But I've supported the LGBTQ community since I was a little tween, and it just felt organic." Reinhart's coming out follows her recent breakup with Riverdale co-star Cole Sprouse. According to E! News, the couple split for the second time due to the coronavirus pandemic's stay-at-home orders making it difficult for the pair to stay connected, and it has become a more permanent split since. Regarding this, a source said, quote, Lili and Cole were in a good place when Riverdale was shut down due to the coronavirus outbreak, but they isolated separately and distance has never been a good thing for the relationship. When Cole and Lili are around each other often, things are very good. The relationship is very intimate and affectionate, but things become more complicated when they're apart. While many people do love a lesbian-centered period drama, the genre has also faced recent criticism surrounding both its focus on tragedy and its seemingly reliance on Caucasian cast members. A 2020 BuzzFeed article by queer writer Lauren Strappagale pointed out the film industry's fascination with the very specific dynamic. Now, while Reinhart is developing projects for herself, she said she also wants to amplify more diverse voices and not necessarily just make things for her to be the lead in, saying, quote, I don't want a white woman to be the lead role in everything that I do. Continuing, I would like to produce projects that are more diverse and aren't just me as the lead, and tell different stories that I wouldn't necessarily really have room to be in. End quote. Lili has not really given too much info regarding the project specifically. We don't know if it's a movie or a series or anything, really. All that we know is that it is a period piece. What period? We also don't know. And it centers around LGBTQ+ central characters, who we know nothing about. But the mystery is at least a little bit fun. I'm sure we will come to learn more over time and as more work is put into the pre-production. During her time on Riverdale, Reinhart has stated in an episode of the Happy Sad Confused podcast that, quote, you can only be so much of an adult on a CW show because you're not even really allowed to kiss with tongue, end quote. Due to that kind of family-friendly restrictiveness, the actress has stated that she is looking forward to and has already been cast in more adult-themed roles. She said, quote, I have a lot of sort of dramatic, deep roles in my future after Riverdale. Definitely roles that you have not seen me in. I'm an adult woman and I'm going to start playing those more adult roles. End quote. And we have definitely already seen some of that. In 2019, she shared the screen with Jennifer Lopez in Hustlers, which follows a crew of New York City exotic dancers who begin to steal money by subduing stock traders and CEOs who visit their club, then running up their credit cards. In 2020, she starred in and was the executive producer of an R-rated romance movie called Chemical Hearts, based on the novel Our Chemical Hearts by Crystal Sutherland, which deals with some pretty heavy themes. And this year, 2022, on August 17th, she starred in and produced the Netflix romantic dramedy Look Both Ways, where she plays one character in two opposing realities, one in which she becomes pregnant and remains in her hometown to raise her child, and another in which she moves to LA to pursue her dream career. Honestly, it's a pretty interesting premise for a movie. I'll have to go watch it. Her new self-produced project, this new period piece, as well as being mature in theme, also sounds like it'll give Reinhart a chance to express her queer identity within the role, depending what that role is, and what the movie's about, and everything really. Speaking on her past producing credits, specifically Chemical Hearts in 2020, Reinhart talked about signing a first look deal with Amazon Studios under her very own production company, Small Victory Productions, saying, quote, I had such a great experience producing Chemical Hearts with Amazon and I'm looking forward to expanding our relationship. She continued to say, Small Victory Productions will tell stories that explore the complexities of young adult, queer, diverse, and inclusive of everyone. In an interview with W Magazine, Lili also talked about her time during quarantine. According to the actress, she turned to a darker, more serious series for entertainment. The actress said she loved The Queen's Gambit and the character of Beth Harmon, the complicated chess prodigy played by Anya Taylor-Joy. In the interview, when asked why did you pick this character and show, she responded, quote, I'm a sucker for a period piece, again. And I liked watching a young girl become an adult, have her life completely change in just a few years. I relate to that. So maybe that will give us some slight clue into her new project, possibly inspired by the show, or maybe not at all. Again, we know nothing. On a completely unrelated note though, I just wanted to talk about this weird thing that happened in early 2021. Apparently, in January 2021, an unknown person posed as Lili Reinhart and her publicist to get into and do 2 interviews about the 5th season of Riverdale. 17 magazine ran a new interview with her her up on their site, which very quickly led to the discovery of a second interview with the Daily Express. Obviously, both interviews have since been taken down, with 17 magazine issuing an apology after publishing the interview with someone pretending to be Lili Reinhart. In said apology, they wrote, quote, "The person who contacted us was in fact an impersonator and had no connection to the Riverdale star," end quote. And then they apologized to both the actress and fans for the mix-up. Lili herself addressed the mix-up in her Instagram story, saying, quote, "For some bizarre reason, someone impersonated me in an interview with 17. Nothing inappropriate was said, but those were not my words and I wanted to address it." End quote. Lucas Hill Paul, who conducted the interview for the Daily Express, said, "It's been brought to my attention that the interview I shared with Lili Reinhart was fake, and someone has been impersonating Lili and her publicist. Obviously, I'm embarrassed and quite disturbed, and sincerely apologize to anyone who was misled by the article." I honestly haven't been able to find a single article about who this mystery imposter actually is or was. So if anyone knows anything, please leave it in the comments. I actually really want to know.
On the outside, I was doing a lot of the performing, the tap dancing of like the smile and the showing up and landing on my mark, and I'm gonna just do what I need to do and be this, happy-go-lucky Nickelodeon kid.
Hello my friends, and welcome back to Where Are They Now? In today's video, I'll be giving you the rundown on former Nickelodeon child star Jennette McCurdy. Let's dive in. Jennette McCurdy carries the producer, director, singer, and former actress titles. She got her start in youth acting fairly early, and by the time she was a preteen, Jennette accumulated mass success. Her starring in Nickelodeon's hit teen comedy iCarly, alongside Miranda Cosgrove when Jennette was 14, eventually led to a spin-off of her character opposite Ariana Grande for their Nick show Sam and Cat. Following her leave from Nickelodeon, Jennette moved on to star in Netflix's Between series, and also briefly settled into a short-lived country music career with Capitol Records Nashville. However, her outside success could not combat her deeply resentful, pent-up feelings of her working resume, where she felt ultimately unsatisfied with her life. Naturally, Jennette turned to hard liquor and unhealthy romantic relationships to cope, but eventually ended up quitting both when she realized this didn't work for her, and instead chose to pursue writing and directing by 2017. Jennette currently maintains a hosting position for her MT Inside podcast, catered to breaking those uncomfortable topic conversations with her guests. Jennette has also since declared her freedom from her past self and is ready to throw away that part of her for good. But before we break all of that down, let's rewind a bit. Jennette was birthed in Long Beach, California under the full name of Jennette Michelle Faye McCurdy. Her parents were Deborah and Mark McCurdy, and Jennette grew up in a small part of Garden Grove, Cali, with her three older brothers Marcus, Scott, and Dustin. Jennette enjoys figure skating and has partaken in many competitions. She also owns 3 dogs by the names of Snoopy, Chewy, and Musashi, as well as 2 turtles named Tootsen and Zeus. Jennette's inspiration for pursuing acting was from her idol Harrison Ford and his work in Star Wars. This resulted in Jennette landing the role of Cassidy Guilford in an episode of Mad TV in 2000, when she was only 8 years old. In 2001, Jennette moved on to play Anna Markov in Shadow Fur, and the following year, Jennette took on Jackie Trent in CSI Crime Scene Investigation and Mary Fields in My Daughter's Tears. By 2003, Jennette obtained the opportunity to act opposite Harrison himself with their work in Hollywood Homicide. In that same year, Jennette was playing the role of Amanda Simmons in the Taylor Simmons film. At this point, Jennette had more than 40 TV serials and 12 films under her belt as a child actor, earning her a multitude of awards and nominations in that short time of filming. Some of these included Young Artist Award nominations in various categories for Strong Medicine in 2005, The Last Day of Summer in 2008, and iCarly in 2009. For iCarly, Jennette also bagged wins at the Teen Choice Awards in 2009, the Australian Kids' Choice Awards in 2012, and the OG Kids' Choice Awards in 2012 as well for her work under the Nickelodeon series. But this all came crashing down for Jennette when she made the decision to quit acting in 2017 to focus on her then soon-to-be writing and directing career. Her directorial debut came in 2018 with a short film called Kenny. Following this was The Grave, The McCurdys, and Strong Independent Women. Her brief return to acting came about in 2020 with her quote tragic comedy one-woman show called I'm Glad My Mom Died. In July of that same year, her MT Inside podcast was launched, and by March 2021, Jennette admitted during one of her hostings that she most likely would not be returning to acting again at that point. As for her writing, Jennette was a columnist for 17 magazine and a writer for Wall Street Journal in her time, to name 2. For Jennette, her fame was indeed curated from her acting, but her additional talents in singing and songwriting only brought her further fame. She has numerous songwriting credits from the music she's personally sung, but Jennette is also a screenwriter and producer among her other hobbies, with an all-rounder performance leaving a lasting impression in the world of entertainment and social media. Aside from her fairly busy celebrity status though, Jennette is also a popular figure for her philanthropist at heart nature. When her late friend Cody Waters passed, Jennette dedicated her second single, Homeless Heart, to him. She donated 20% of the proceeds from sales to the Cody Waters Foundation to pay respects to children suffering from cancer. With this, Jennette also holds the Star Power Ambassador title for the Starlight Children's Foundation. One final talent one can say Jennette produces though is her uncanny ability to avoid getting caught up in loads of scandals during her years in the direct limelight. The only real scandal anyone can think of when they think of Jennette was her failure to attend the Knicks Choice Awards function in spite of being invited. Of course, most now know this controversy spiraled into complications when Jennette accused the network of favoring her Sam and Cat co-star Ariana, and the backlash from this was so heavy that Nick had to cancel broadcasting for the series after a single season to avoid any more issues. In conclusion, the rumors were soon cleared by both young stars at the time to reveal that they were both still good friends. Now remember when I told you about Jennette being ready to pack up her old life and move on at the start? Here's how it pertains to what we've learned so far. Jennette's writing career quickly grew into a force to be reckoned with when she penned an article on her family struggles while her mother was battling cancer for several extensive years. The work was published in the Wall Street Journal, and the article attracted many readers who felt great sympathy for the words on the pages. Jennette's multifaceted talents are unlike that of many, which has earned her the respect and admiration of a wide portion of the target audience the entertainment industry caters to. Her newest book, a memoir titled I'm Glad My Mom Died, is based on her life growing up and is attention-grabbing in every way, to say the least. Not to mention that Jennette has admitted she meant every word of it genuinely. Her hopes with this book is for readers to understand why she created such a bold statement by the end of it. The now 30-year-old has detailed in her book how her mom, Deborah, was a quote narcissist who emotionally, mentally, and physically took advantage of her. Jennette detailed how it was Deborah who forced her into an acting career as a youngin' and also encouraged her to obtain a dangerous series of eating disorders. She also discussed her mother giving her showers through her late teen years, with claims that Jennette didn't wash her hair accurately. It was Deborah who pushed Jennette to work long and grueling hours despite her sickness at times, and continually gave her daughter breast and vaginal exams until Jennette was 17 because she feared her daughter developing cancer as well. Deborah was described as restricting to Jennette's social and dating life until her 20s and being overall quote cruel, demanding, and hostile to her child-pleasing daughter, all while Deborah screamed at her husband in front of their kids and threw dishes around the house. According to Jennette, she didn't seek therapy for her troubles until after her mother's passing in 2013. This is where she began to accept her past and fully deal with the trauma she experienced. It took years of work, but Jennette is now actively proceeding to extensively improve herself and share her story with the world. While penning her body of work, Jennette recalls it being a quote emotional roller coaster. From 2007 to 2015, Jennette was acting out an aggressively sassy, bright Sam Puckett alongside Miranda's bubbly, glamorously awkward Carly Shay, and again in her spin-off with Ariana Grande's ditzy, airheaded Cat Valentine character. The dynamics of these two shows had kids and tweens obsessed from the very start, as Jennette's spunky, cute, thin, and fair-skinned character, much like many of the other Hollywood girls churned out by the industry at the time, was a natural fan attractor. But her start, as mentioned prior, was not just Jennette's hard work alone, but through the guidance and heavy supervision of her mother, who brought Jennette up in Orange County solely with the intention of making her daughter a famous actress. The seemingly not so devastating loss for Jennette at 21 from her lifelong personal and professional guidance in life clearly proves that if Jennette is right about one thing, it has to be her childhood experiences shaping her to be exactly who she is nowadays. I'm genuinely glad. If she were alive, I'd still be trapped. Every important decision in my life wouldn't have been possible. Her book is raw and telling in a clear and unflinchingly all-honest manner. It describes thoroughly Deborah's desire to raise a mini actor as a wannabe actor herself, but also how Deborah was wildly harmful to her youngest daughter in the process. Most recently though, Jennette seems to be moving in a higher direction to pour out her experiences into the memoir. I'm sure she's hoping to heal others who are going through something similar. The exploration of her childhood and the career she never desired, mixed in with being a writer now and how that has shaped her, has deemed this piece one for the books. In a discussion of her writing rebellion and the hyper-focused reputation of her mom, Jennette explained, "My mom didn't deserve her pedestal. She was a narcissist in ways that will forever impact me." In regards to the people closest to Jennette after her mom's death, Miranda has recently stepped forward to say she did not know every detail of what was occurring behind the scenes with Jennette. Miranda was detailed by Jennette to be shy, but outgoing and sparky. energy, and took Jennette out of her comfort zone throughout most of their friendship. Jennette further described Miranda as a breath of fresh air in her life. In response to Miranda calling Jennette's recently revealed past, she said, quote, "When you're young, you're so in your own head. You can't imagine that people around you are having much harder struggles. You don't expect things like that from the person in the room who's making everyone laugh." Overall, it's no surprise that when Jennette took a peek back into her childhood rise to fame, she discovered the fact that Deborah did not shield her from the dangers of Hollywood back then. She even embarked on a thoughtful journey about the time when her parental figure failed to intervene Jennette being served alcohol authorized by, quote, the creator. During another occurrence, Jennette had pleaded within herself that her mom would have stopped the pressure regarding her teen bikini photo shoot from happening. Rather, Jennette explained how her mom would constantly remind her of how envious everyone was of her and how much they wanted to have what she did. To expand, Jennette revealed, "My whole childhood and adolescence was very exploited. It still gives my nervous system a reaction to say it. There were cases where people had the best intentions and maybe didn't know what they were doing, and also cases where they knew exactly what they were doing." Jennette's memoir is both cheeky and gut-wrenching, with mentions of her once developing jealousy over her former co-star Ariana's success and how she grew to love Miranda despite her mom's warnings not to. But in the wake of it all lies a truth and emotional healing path for Jennette to one day return to the world of historical public scrutiny in a way that only she is able. Quote, "I think seeing yourself is particularly difficult with growing up in the public eye because you're so public facing and seen as one thing. That makes the reality of you so much more unseen and invalidated and unacknowledged. But now because I see myself, I can accept being seen by others."
You starred in Solo, a Star Wars story. Have you seen all of the Star Wars films?
Hello my friends and welcome back to Where Are They Now? In today's video, I'll be giving you the rundown on Game of Thrones starlet Emilia Clarke. Let's dive in. Emilia Clarke is most famously known for her role in Game of Thrones, where she plays the air quote dragon queen, Daenerys Targaryen. She developed her niche for acting ever since she was a little girl, and soon graduated from the esteemed Drama Centre London, her secondary school. She's played several small screen characters since, but her golden ticket to Hollywood came in 2011 when she landed her breakout role for HBO's GOT. Since, she has also been cast in additional films such as Star Wars and has starred on Broadway. But before we get into all of that, let's rewind a bit. Our favorite English actor, born Amelia Isabel Euphemia Rose Clarke, was brought up in London, England with a birth date of October 23rd, 1986. She was raised in the countryside of Oxfordshire, where her interest in acting began peaking. Once her mother came to realize her budding passion, she took Amelia to the production of The Showboat, a classical musical where her father was on the job as a sound engineer. Amelia would only go on to become even further fascinated as she began accompanying her father on his future trips to the theater. Amelia has educational roots from Rye St. Anthony as well as St. Edward's in Oxford, both in which she was appearing in productions of Twelfth Night and West Side Story respectively while attending. As if her passion for the arts could not come more full circle, she soon rounded herself out as an artist through vocal and instrument lessons, specifically for the guitar. Once she had graduated from high school, Amelia was accepted into the Central St. Martin's Drama Centre London, which has formerly housed famous alumni amongst the likes of actors Tom Hardy, Colin Firth, and Michael Fassbender. At the time, she continued to pursue her studies while doubling in numerous stage productions at the school. After finalizing her studies in 2009 at the DCL, Amelia was dead set on building her career, where she fairly quickly landed her first TV role in BBC's drama series Doctors. She was also featured in a ton of commercials around the same time. More significantly, another cast character of Amelia's was for a horror sci-fi film adaptation that was originally meant for TV. The movie was titled Triassic Attack and was released in 2010. Despite her grind though, Amelia was additionally maintaining several day jobs to make ends meet. Luckily for her, she was blessed with her biggest on-screen work to date in 2011 when her agent had rung her regarding an audition for HBO's then new series Game of Thrones. Amelia's sick leave call-in to the catering company she had worked scheduled for came immediately, and she had successfully cleared her audition to be cast for her Mother of Dragons on-screen persona. The former actress in this position had left the show after filming for the unaired pilot. GLT was based on a series of novels of the same name by author George R. Martin and became a massive worldwide sensation upon its release. The fantasy drama ran for 8 widely popular and successful seasons before it wrapped in May 2019. For this standout role, Amelia garnered many awards and was selected as a nominee several times for the Emmy and Screen Actor Guilds. She dished to NPR back in 2019 about how she was ecstatic to be stereotyped as Mother of Dragons. She included how her life could be a whole lot worse reminisced on how blessed she was feeling of overcoming her former struggles and playing such an amazing character. Following this though, Emilia would sit down with actor Dax Shepard to make an appearance in his podcast, where she admitted to feeling the pressure of her nudity scenes in the show at the time. Her sudden launch to fame from GOT quickly brought about other projects, which are listed as follows. In 2012, Emilia was included in the casting of Spike Island, holding the title of a starring role for the indie musical drama. In 2013, her first appearance on Broadway came with her part as Holly in Breakfast at Tiffany's, a stage production by Truman Capote. She also starred opposite Jude Law in Richard Shepard's Dom Hemingway, a British comedic crime drama film. Following this, Emilia would see more work in 2015 with the Terminator Saga installment, Terminator Genesis, alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, as well as turned down some roles in the same year. She chalked up her refusal of signing for the leading part of 50 Shades of Grey to her not wanting to pigeonhole herself in nude revealing types of roles. And well, let's look at this like it's the MCU for a second here. In another dimension, she would have played a wicked Anna Steele. Although I'm sure we all know how things turned out exactly how they should in our universe. Emilia starred in the rom-dram Me Before You back in 2016 and then found more success through the highly anticipated release of A Star Wars Story in 2018, where she played Solo's romantic interest and childhood friend. Not to mention, this is definitely not my favorite romance trope. Anyway, after this, Emilia moved on to the famous lead of Kate in Last Christmas in 2019, where she was opposite Henry Golding's alluring character Tom. Emilia soon became a frequent subject to numerous tabloids and gossip columns alike, as she was romantically linked to her partner of several months, Seth MacFarlane. She's had several other rumors linking her to more actors, like her Breakfast at Tiffany's co-star Corey Michael Smith, as well as Jai Courtney and James Franco in the past. Reportedly, in the midst of early 2019, her flame with director Charlie McDowell was said to have burned out and had been disposed of completely. As per an essay for The New Yorker in March 2019, it was revealed that Emilia suffered 2 aneurysms around the beginning stages of Game of Thrones. According to the news source, the first aneurysm struck just after season 1 had wrapped and required Emilia to undergo an emergency operation, which left her exhausted as production resumed. She was also reported to have been unable to communicate in its aftermath. As for the second, the actress had to endure a more complicated type of procedure after the second season, which left her in horrible pain. Both were said to have had a lengthy recovery process. More recently, Emilia has opened up about her darkest days, where she's written things about considering ending her life, as well as often worrying that she would not survive. The actress recalled her experience of being a survivor of 2 brain aneurysms and expressed her gratitude for being able to recover after pretty much losing a chunk of her organ, which she expressed upon seeing the scans of her brain after the incidents. Emilia spoke with BBC's Sunday Morning for an interview while she was promoting her rendition of Anton Chekhov's The Seagull production at Harold Pinter Theatre. She detailed being in excruciating pain and feeling lucky that she had GOT to fall back on to give her that purpose. She even stated how it was pretty much a miracle for her to be speaking, as the amount of her brain which had been put under the knife is no longer usable. Emilia has since put together a charity for stroke victims and people who have suffered brain injuries. She calls the cause Same You, and despite putting her medical issues behind her to accept her current state of health, Emilia is still helping loads of people through this. She describes her situation as being is what it is and encourages people to try their best not to continually rack their brains about what might not be there. Since Emilia first admitted to her struggles from her difficult situation back in 2019, she has reassured us now that she is completely better and can live her life completely normal with no repercussions. Brightly known for her works both on screen and on stage, Emilia has been awarded numerous accolades, including a Saturn Award, an Empire Award, opposite 4 Primetime Emmy nominations, and 7 Screen Actor Guild Award noms, as mentioned earlier. She's also secured a 2019 spot on the Times 100 list. So, of course, there's no wonder why she stuck it around in the end, as her hard work has definitely defined her as a person and how strong she truly is.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like borderline snake. Like, that's like weasel.
Doja Cat. Her, Hot Pink, and Planet Her. With a few albums under her belt, millions of fans and followers on social media, Doja Cat is a rising star and most likely isn't going anywhere anytime soon, even if she's been feuding with other rising stars from Hawkins, Indiana. Hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, my name is Andrew and today we're here for a breakdown of Doja Cat. Born October 21st, 1995 in beautiful sunny California. More specifically, the Tarzana neighborhood neighborhood of Los Angeles. Sounds nice. Real name being Amala Ratna Zandile Damali. Might sound like a lot, but it actually has a pretty meaning, as Doja has mentioned herself that it sometimes can refer to a perfect gem, a songbird, or a pretty flower. Cute. Shortly after being born, she moved to New York with her Jewish American mother and South African descent father, who should both be noted here for having talent of their own. Her mother is a designer, fashion designer, and took a few artist strokes at painting herself. Her father is the complete actor, producer, singer, composer, dancer, you name it, the man's done it. Talent doesn't fall far from the tree, it seems. Growing up in New York, Doja took dance classes but always had a secret passion for singing, something she mostly kept to herself, usually by singing to herself in her bedroom. I'm just like that too, except, I sing in the shower and everyone can hear me and, well, it's not very good. Okay, so maybe I'm nothing like her even though I wish I was. While her taste in music had a range, a defining moment of her growth was when she was 9 years old and her mother bought her an Amy Winehouse CD, pulling her into the trend of the hip-hop and pop genre. She also shares similarities with many mid to late 90s kids, as she was always fond of watching cartoons and shows on the Disney Channel, Sesame Street, and one of my favorite movies of all time, if you couldn't guess, The Mask starring Jim Carrey. Sounds like to me it's the makings of a Gen Z pop star. Take a little hip-hop, add a little pop, throw in some Sweet Life on deck, add a Jim Carrey quote, and sprinkle in some meme culture, and bake with a little talent. Bam, there's your pop star. After spending a lot of her life in New York, it was time to head back to sunny California, where she experienced something pretty unique, something that many don't. Her family moved into an ashram. I had to look that up myself because I wasn't too sure what that was, but in a nutshell, it's a very spiritual and sometimes cult-like place where people get to enjoy California's sun and their spirituality, man. Doja claiming herself it wasn't the best environment and she kind of felt trapped, which is why the next part of her life they moved to the suburbs. Again, she couldn't wait to get out, or in some cases sneak out. Good thing I never did that. Not even once. No, what, me sneak out? Come on, I wouldn't do that. Do I look like the kind of guy who would party in high school? I don't think so. It seems the desire to create and be an artist was rapidly growing, as this was also the time she started doing YouTube videos. Old school retro makeup tutorials. You know the ones. However, it wasn't her thing. Sometimes you just know when it's not your thing. So the next step was making music full time, which involved her dropping out of school in grade 11. Ooh, watch out folks, we've got a bad kid on her hands. Nah, I'm just kidding. I wanted to drop out in grade 11 too cause, well, math. Math was getting ridiculous. But don't worry mom, I got my grade 10 and I'm staying out of jail. It's always a good thing. This is where she spent months making music with all the classic apps and tools SoundCloud musicians need. And, of course, a little help from the devil's lettuce for inspiration. I hear it's what a lot of people do. Which is actually where her alias Doja Cat comes from. Sometimes you can have smart thoughts in the trap house. Just look at me. They call me the Walter White of trap houses because I'm always cooking up something fun to do. This is a cute little joke for the people at home. Doja did see some success during this time as she ended up signing a record deal with RCA Records, which is a really big deal for any artist in her position. Heck, I'd love a deal with RCA Records, sign me up. However, it wasn't until she made a video on YouTube called Moo that saw her skyrocket to fame. And with a video like that, how can you not? The video made her go mainstream viral and grew thousands of followers by the day. Eventually, she would produce more albums and be the cute, quirky performer we know her as today. Speaking of today, or rather fairly recent, is the privacy debacle with Noah Schnapp of Stranger Things fame. Doja sent Noah a DM asking for Joseph Quinn's details so she could do as the Zoomers do and slide into his DMs. After all, she's publicly said on Twitter she fancies Eddie Munson. And after that gnarly guitar solo, how could you not? I mean, that was really epic. Well, Noah thought it would be funny if he posted the DMs on TikTok because he knew it would go viral. Naturally, with both of them having so many fans and so many followers, it picked up a lot of traction and left her fans asking a lot of questions. Doja responded on TikTok Live where she went over the situation. She talked about how she's made tons of mistakes in her life, especially when she was Noah's age, which, hey, to be fair, I've been there too. She continued to say that it was never her intention to have the DM shared, nor did she think it would ever be shared. She also went on to mention that it was kind of a snake move. Ooh, and she even called him a weasel at one point. Yikes. She claims that he's just socially unaware and it does break some sort of moral ground. It does break a moral ground, sure. However, there's still a lot of people saying it's not that that big of a deal because in reality, there's just nothing really expose worthy in the DM. And some think she may be blowing this a little out of proportion. Some even think she has a boyfriend already too, so that could be why her reaction's a little strange.